Hey, and welcome to Dr. G Speaks. I am Dr. Kristen Guillory, and I am so very excited to help you experience a life of freedom, faith, and fun you may not even realize is possible. Listen, I know you feel held back, I know you feel stuck, and I know you are hiding. As a coach and the author of Look, Stop Hiding, How to Find Your Voice and Never Dim Your Light Again, you will get to listen to some amazing stories, receive some homework, that's the professor in me, and get some tools to help you live the life you deserve. It's time to quiet the noise and walk in the fullness of who God created you to be. It's time to stop hiding and start thriving. Together, we'll uncover your potential and ignite your journey to a fulfilling life, a life of freedom. What up, what up? Welcome to Dr. G Speaks and part 2 of an amazing conversation that I had with my aunt, Dr. Lisa Hammonds, as we talk about going into the new year, showing up as who we are. Check us out. If you had to go back and tell you something, the Lisa 15 years ago, something, what would you have told her?
Probably would have told her to stop always looking inward at the possible problem, right? Look around to see if what's causing you strife might not be you. It might be a situation that you just probably need to distance yourself from that is really not in your best interest. But I have always approached the situation with what can I do to make it better? What can I do to change? How can I see things from a different lens? I'm just saying what I would tell myself 15 years ago is to be open to there's other options, right? To just there's other options. It's not always me.
I love that. It's not always you. And then what can you tell the Lisa today?
What I can tell the Lisa today is do your thing. Do your thing. I'm so ready. I'm just ready to, I'm just ready for that glass ceiling, the margins to just go and be my amazing, awesome self.
Then let's go. That's
Do your thing.
That's what it is. Do your thing. Your walk-in song at one of the other retreats. We ready. We ready.
Ready.
Hey, so go do it. That's
Go
what it
do it.
is. It's choice. Is we get to show up and do it and keep that going. And since the extravaganza was celebrating my 10-year anniversary as my aunt, what was it like to witness the experience as well as the last 10 plus years? What has that been like for you to see me, see this journey, see everything? Because you've been with me the whole time. You've supported and prayed for me and been there the whole time. And yeah, and it's not over. But yes, what has that been like for you?
So pretty much I would wrap it up and say this. You have you have walked the walk. You have shown us, me, how to be a real person in this world with real hopes and dreams. And sometimes I think I might even, amaze you at how I can remember conversations we've had. But I remember sometimes when you have told me, Lisa, I'm going to fill in the blanks. Lisa, and I'm sometimes under the table, scared, weird. Oh my God. You've done all those things. And has all of those things been easy for you? No, but you have done them. Like when I registered for the extravaganza, I told you, I choked up. I cried because I know all those things that were listed there. You did it. You did it. You had a dream. You told me you were going to do it and it got done. So for me, it was kind of like I said to myself, I remember when I met Dr. G because before there was Dr. G, there was Tiki. And that person was an amazing person. But that person, and that person turned into Dr. G. Y'all, wow. And I saw this happen. There was, ain't no stopping me. There's no stopping you. And again, you have been transparent. You have loved the Lord. You have done all those things. You have worried. You have celebrated. You have prayed. You have tried to be there for us. All the things. You have shared experiences. You have given people opportunity. You've given me opportunity. You've thrown stuff my way. And I know, again, you wanted to come through the wire to say, look, my friend. And to see all of that just like right there, I mean, I've lived it, right? It's like, oh my God. And to know that you're still doing this thing, you're still aspiring to do things, you're still doing stuff. And at this point, you can't tell me you're going to do anything without me going, yep, that's happening. Because I had to go back and say to you, I'm sorry for doubting your decision to leave academia. That was you were doing the thing. And I'm just like, what else can she do? She's already amazing. What? My limited ability to think big. That's not you. That's just not you. So, I'm inspired. And it's funny how you talk about me, and my age. I'm the aunt and you're the niece. Sometimes it don't feel like that. I'm like, Auntie, niece, Dr. G, can you tell me something? Like, seriously. Because I work with you. I'm a client. I'm telling people that extravaganza. I'm an aunt, but I'm also a client. You feel me? Yes, indeed.
Lord, and that's so special. Thank you for saying that. I mean, everything. And I've appreciated you this entire journey. And people are always in awe of when they learn that. And I say, yeah, y'all, my aunt and my sister and other family members have literally enrolled in my programs. And they're like, wait, what? That's not weird to coach your family? I said, no. Do they take like the relationship not for granted, but try to get extra coaching? I said, no. They are respectful. They honor the boundaries. And then when I left, listen, nobody understood leaving the professor position, including me. And that was one where y'all, when it was time for y'all to see, y'all did. Everybody. I remember everybody in their own timing coming around you and my mom and my dad. I remember everybody in their own way just saying, okay, I see it now. I had somebody tell me, she said, I'll be honest, when you left, I thought, what is she doing? Because this position is perfect for her. And then I saw everything that happened. And that's why, I do wish that I didn't care that people understood because I was so nervous, like nobody gets this. So let me not say that. Out the gate, Sharice did. Okay. So BFF did. And one other person. And y'all's care. It's not that you didn't believe in me. It just was, what are you doing? That kind of step is really huge to leave this perfect tenure track professor position that was created for you. Just leave it after an amazing year to go pursue what? Yeah. What? And I'm grateful that I kept the step going. And I'm grateful that you stayed on the journey. And it's interesting you saying you remember when I changed from Tiki to Dr. G. When was that? Because I don't.
Well, when you Dr. G, my sons, every summer, this for the people, you and your sister and brother would come visit us. Niece and nephew come and visit aunt, uncle, and cousins. And we would do our little kid things. And my sons, they're a little younger than you. And one of them got Dr. G'd, which means he got hooked. And at that point, I saw this person that had love, that had insight, that was relatable and cared. That person was the turn of Dr. G. And then of course, if I didn't live in the DFW area and you would keep me posted with all the things and from all the stuff that they were remembering this weekend, and you leading this and you asking the Lord to help you with this and mentoring young families. And I'm saying families because it wasn't just a child, it was a family. Okay. As a young person. So that was, and I can't remember, I would say that might have been in 2000.
Your son said to me, Justin, that I was Dr. G and him before I was Dr. G.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I said, what? He said, before you even had these credentials. And I think what's interesting about that is I didn't even know. Like I knew I just wanted to help. And age and relationship, none of that ever mattered. I just wanted to help. And I think all of us have those special gifts and abilities in us. And I'm grateful. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. I am grateful that I grew up in a family and household where we were not told to dim our light. Because I've had people say, well, have you just always kind of been like this? I said, well, in some way. But no, I don't remember one time growing up where my mom or dad ever said, you need to calm that down. No, okay, that's too much. I was allowed to thrive. I was allowed to be my bossy self. and allowed to be my outspoken self. And I know that is, and not just in the household, but my family too. And I know that absolutely has contributed to my confidence in my voice because I've had this since I was sixth grade. I was asking the choir instructor, can we sing another song? I don't like that song.
Right.
Can we sing this one? And it's so hard to say goodbye. And she brought the Beatles version. And I was upset because I wanted Boys to Men. I was like,
I know you
um,
did.
and so I remember the choir instructor, she said, Kristen, are you okay? I said, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong version. I'm in the sixth grade. Who does that? That's the wrong version. And I just thank you and my family for never silencing my voice, ever, ever. Might not have always liked it or agreed with it, but I always had space to shine and share my voice all the time, all the time.
And it was needed, that part.
That part.
Yeah.
And yours is needed too. That part.
Yeah. And I just have to say too that you have always been led by the Holy Spirit. And, that's always been very, very honorable and inspiring and sometimes confusing for me because it's like, how is it that she maintains all the things, right? Her connections to the Lord in this journey. And like you mentioned at the extravaganza, yes, if anybody heard you say you journal and think, nah, she journals. Oh, she journals. That's sacred time. Yeah. hmm And I try. I got a bunch of half-started journals. I can't keep up, guys. And it's, those things that the growth, again, is just amazing. And again, like that's what I'm saying, when I saw that growth from Tiki to Dr. G, it was almost like, what do they say? You let the lion out the cage and then you just blossomed and you just became this full-on believer, person who is going to ascend, period. That's just what that is. And you keep going. Listen, I'm tired.
Period. Listen, yeah, I have a lot more. There's a lot more. And God has revealed that there's a lot more going on. And I didn't realize that I had this connection or ability to just hear and move. I really didn't. And it just became such a norm that people would say, golly, you hear the Lord. I know you hear the Lord and you move. And how do you do that? Like it just became a norm for me that I didn't realize how unique it was to people. And because I would just move and I would hear him and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. This doesn't make sense. It scares me. Okay. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that he has directed me every step of the way. You know this, I haven't always been excited about each step. I've wanted to run away many times. And even with the extravaganza, I was nervous. Like before opening registration, excited, boom, book the venue. Do you know this? That I never even, you know this, I never even saw the venue. I booked it while on the cruise with mom.
hmm
And I saw pictures and I hadn't even heard of that hotel. And I'm like, this seems like it's it. Had no idea of what it would be. And the venue literally, Lisa, was perfect for the extravaganza. The outside lawn, the upstairs stuff, the close to the airport, the convenient parking, all things that I wanted. And I was excited. Then I opened registration and I got nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh. Are people going to come to this? And God just said, did you forget what you've seen on this journey? Did you forget that you saw these mountains, the ocean, the geysers on this 5-month sabbatical traveling to 15 countries? He was like, if I can do that, yes, I can get you people at the event. Yes, it's going to be there. So there's still times I still move. When he tells me I'll still move, but there are times I still get nervous. But I remember every single time I've listened to him, things always turn out so much better than I could have imagined. Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Like, I have to even go back and say, God, every time you've told me to do something and I've done it, it's turned out better. So why am I still worried from time to time? Because it turns out better every time. And he showed me a few things about what's coming. I'm nervous, but I know I'm going to do it. I know it's going to be amazing. But yeah, it's just I'm grateful. So that's why when Corey, the videographer, came up on Saturday and he was like, "What should I do?" That first thing I recommended was pray.
Yeah, you did. So I
Pray.
wonder if I can ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you, is this one time, this extravaganza weekend, is this the first time that you have had a chance to reflect on all the things that you have done?
Well,
Re-
I still haven't all the way reflected because it was a
Okay.
blur. It was a
Okay.
blur. And I'm still looking at stuff. What was beautiful was hearing people in these stories and just like, wow, Lord, you've really used me to help people in significant ways.
Oh,
Like, oh my gosh, and I know that. And it's beneficial to be reminded of that. Like the number of people that said, there are not enough words for me to tell you what you've done for me. Like, I don't even know how I can adequately share how you've impacted my life. And hearing folks say things like life changing. So I have reflected before, but on like the last 10 years? No, it was because of putting this together. I wrote it all out first. That's on the website from a cerebral level. Like, let me just write it. And then then probably a month or two ago, I just sat back and was like, golly, I think I shared at the soiree. I have done a lot. Oh,
yeah. Because
hey.
I moved here in 2010, and I'm telling you, I was choking up thinking about the things you've done. So I'm thinking 10 years is cutting it short. Like you've been, I know you did starting your launching your fully launching your business, but my friend, you've been doing amazing stuff. And I'm talking about gathering events. I'm talking about helping moms. I'm talking about families, all that. Because I remember I came in 2010 and I couldn't, you had to tell me to calm down. Hey, you can help, but just give me a minute. Let me find something for you to do.
You are correct. And that's why I invited people that I've known before the 10 years. Because it was Cozy Convos got started before the 10 years. Me as a professor started before the 10 years. Rites of Passage 22 years ago.
Yes,
And it was just, okay. The 10-year celebration was more so, yes, the full time, but it was more so celebrating taking the biggest step of faith in my life.
sure,
Like it
sure.
was more so like leaving a job that I never thought to do. But yes, I've been doing stuff like this since high school in
Yes.
different capacities. And to sit back and just think, even the Rites of Passage crew, that was a ministry that I was over 22 years ago, right outside of college at my church. Was
Mm-hmm.
invited to start a step team. Well, I wanted to start a
Mm-hmm.
step team, and the pastor wanted me to start this youth program. So, freshly out of college, I had this youth program for 2 years with like 20 to 30 youth. And we met every Saturday from 9 to 12. And it was magical. And so to see, and this is 22 years. So to see those adults on stage and they will do anything for me. Like they will say, one of them, Dr. Whitney Cameron, is a whole pediatrician who was there,
Yeah.
who's written groundbreaking research. And she came up to me at the Sunday event and said, do you need anything? I'll always be your assistant. Is there anything you need? I just have to do like this because they're just like, you don't even understand what you've done for us. Like you are, you're that person. And for me sitting in it, I'm going to keep sitting in it. It's just like, wow, Lord, you have really used me to help people. And I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I said yes. And it makes me want to rest even more. Like, make sure that my rest is where it needs to be because I know the next is going to be even greater because the first 20 years of the, if not more, has been magnificent. And it just is, yeah, we are gifted. And I know some of the ploys of the enemy. The enemy will try to use different things to get in the way. And I'm like, nah, I know your playbook. I know your playbook, enemy. Uh-uh. And if I do feel that I'm attacked, I got people I can call to pray. And so it's a lot. Yes, it's a lot that I've done. And when I sat back and just wrote things out, because in one time talking to a friend of mine and then a few other folks in looking at what I did in 1 year. So, like in 1 year, one time, I think I hosted maybe 7 events and all these speaking engagements and all these other things. And they were like, I can only do one a year. How do you do
Yeah.
all that? And I recognize I have a different capacity. Even Livy, who's my branding manager, is like, Dr. G, you came back from the sabbatical and you were just up and running. And I said, Livy, it's really not that much, is it? And she was like,
Mm.
uh, what? So I just see,
Well, you know my thoughts on that. because I mean we're doing the podcast now, but I've been doing podcasts with you for a minute because when we talk, I record.
And I remember the first time you did that, you said, wait a second. You put out your phone and hit a button. Doo-doo. I said, what are you doing? I record you. What? Nope. Because you're going to say something. And
Rapid fire.
when I have shared that with people, people have said, oh, that's just wisdom. Oh, I need to do that. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I recognize that when people ask if they can have more time to listen to the replays from coaching calls, that's a gift because everybody doesn't want to go back and listen to replays. But
That is
mine,
true.
people do. And they are, could you give us a few more days to please go listen to it? And then I'm getting messages about, oh my gosh, that replay was fire. And those are just things God is reminding me of, not just for me, but we can make impact in any space. We can make impact in a replay, in a podcast episode, in the back of a Lyft or Uber. And it's just for me to be open and available all the time. And somebody asked me, can I ever turn off the gift? Well, the answer is no. And that's why I go and disappear sometimes because I need to go and be in spaces where I'm not around people because I can feel people. I can feel people. I can't even walk by folks because I'll feel them and I'll stop and I'll need to share. So it's beneficial for me to go in spaces where there aren't a lot of people. So yeah, all that being said, this really was one of the first times I for real sat back and looked at the last 10 plus years. I'll sit back and look at the year, but I don't think I've ever looked back at like a group of years.
Yeah. Pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful. Scary because for me, well, no, it's not scary. It's exciting because at this point, you are going to do the dang thing. Period.
Period.
You're going to.
That
And I'm just gonna sit there and just be in awe. And I just celebrate you. And again, I'm inspired for real, inspired. And in my own way, well, not in my own way, straight up, I love and adore you, and that's facts.
Aw, I love and adore you too. And I know that. And I know that. And what you talking about? You're gonna be sitting around. No, you're gonna be doing stuff.
Well, this is true. But I do like to, I like to share in your glory. I like to watch you do your work. I do. I just love it. That's why I'm already planning my 2025. I'm gonna be retreating and going to Greece. How about that?
Yes, you will. And since you brought it up, I'll go on and mention it to the peeps listening. I am excited to host the sabbatical experience in Santorini, Greece, November 1st through November 11th, 2025.
Yay.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Mm-mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
it is for men and women. This will be my first co-ed retreat. And it is to allow people to sabbatical, to take a moment to decompress, rest, possibly start working on a new project of choice. And there's a lot planned because, I went on a 5-month sabbatical. I know everybody can't do that. And I also know most people have never gone 11 days in a row taking off. I know that. And like, why not in Santorini? And who else said that? Somebody said, what did they say to me? As long as you give us a payment plan, I'm there. I said, okay, but I'm excited. The resort's already rented. And literally, what was just a quick thought in November 2019 when I was there for the first time? I'm walking, and I happened to look at this building that said conference space. It was just like, I'm just walking and it said conference space. And I kept walking. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to host something here. Okay. I thought I was going to host it the next year or in 2021. Then, of course, we had COVID and I put it to the side. I went back during the sabbatical. I went back in April of this year, 2024. And at the resort where I was staying, I was like, I am going to host it here and I'm going to rent this entire resort and it's going to work out. And I've rented the entire resort. And I've rented like 5 rooms at another resort, which is going to be where the team is. And somebody said, Dr. G, I don't care what I have to do. If you want me to work the whole time, I'm coming. And I just said, we will work that out. So it was that seed planted in 2019 came back this year and how smooth literally Everything happened. And that's something that I reflected on, the ease at which all of this stuff has happened. All of it. Like the
And
hard
I just
moments.
have to say, this travel thing, the thing that I think you don't flex enough, my niece, my dear niece, is the opportunities that you are providing us women folk. The
Mm,
cruises. There are women on that cruise that had never been on a cruise. How many people you think get to go to Greece because of you? Going to go to travel out of the country because of you? All the things you do are amazing. Then you just add that part to it. You are going to change lives right now. I was on the cruise and I saw lives being changed because folks had never even taken a vacation, much less a cruise.
mm.
Okay? These experiences that you provide, these rest retreats, they're a time for people to do things that they've never even dreamed of doing. We met a guy the other day that said he had never been out of DFW. There are people that, and I know, you go to 17,000 countries in a week, but then there's us. Right? And this is an opportunity for people who would never even dream of this. Hang
Mm.
out there for a minute and you provide that space.
I do need to hang out there. You just gave me homework. Okay.
Get it, go Lisa, go Lisa.
Go, Lisa. Okay. I'm going to add that to my journaling.
I'm about to say my dog.
Thank you for that. I have not sat in provide like that. No, I've
I
never
had my
sat in
tickets
that.
to Colombia.
Right.
I had my tickets to
Yep.
Colombia during COVID. I didn't get to go. I would have never even, just saying.
Mm. Okay. I receive. That's good. I need to do that. I need to sit in that. Because even some women who were going to Colombia have asked me, are we bringing it back? Because none of them had ever been except me and my mom. Everybody
Right.
going. It was the
Right.
only time. And I know it was I probably wouldn't go to Colombia by like on my own with a girlfriend, but I'm going to go in this group. And I trust her.
Right.
And I
Right.
thank you for saying that because you just fleshed out the desire for these trips. It's just second hat for me, and it's because that's my
Yes.
desire. My desire is I know what this does. I know that it doesn't do the same thing for every person, but I can provide the space. I can provide it. You get your way over here. I'll plan everything because everybody's not going to go on a 5-month sabbatical by themselves and travel the world. But if you present somebody with something, the number of people on Saturday that were, oh, we going to Greece. Will you going to Greece? We going to Greece. So thank you for that. I do need to sit in that because there have been 3 cruises, 2 cozy retreats. I think I posted maybe 7 or 8 retreats and the rest retreats and other travel things that you are correct. Even if you remember, Dr. Shalonda said coming to the Elite Mastermind Retreat was the first time she ever traveled to an event like by herself where she didn't really know folks and what that opened up for her in all these other places. So I receive it. I am going to take time in the morning to sit in that because no, I've never sat in the potential impact of like these travel opportunities. No, I've never done that. Even, and that made me think somebody who came to the boot camp that was in South Florida, that was her first time on a plane by herself, first time on a plane in 20
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that it took so much for so many people to just get there, like the booking the flight and coming there was like, that was such a big deal. Then the boot camp. And I need to sit in that. So thank you for saying that because I can, book a flight in 5 minutes and it's nothing. But for those, to your point, that don't do this often and what it can do for them, because travel changes things and it could be domestic travel, but just travel changes things. And then after they go to Greece, like your brother, what did he say when y'all just went to Germany and then Paris? He's like, he wants to go back.
He wants to go back. He wants to do it again.
He wants to do it
He's gonna
again.
do it again.
And I know he is. And I think I told him, well, come to Greece too. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
come to Greece as well. So with that, thank you for my homework. Thank you for my homework.
Wow.
And we are in this thing. We're moving
Yes.
forward with ease and freedom and confidence and rest. And you're going to ride your bike again. You're going to show up with Dove and you're going to go travel and see your grandbabies.
Yes.
Mic
And
drop. And
all the other fun things.
and all the other fun things. And you're going to be at all my events too. So with that,
Indeed.
thank you so much for everything. Thank you for everything, for your support, love, and specifically today, thank you for dropping so much wisdom and nuggets. I'm excited for the people who are going to hear you and be inspired and then send me messages like, oh my gosh, your aunt just inspired me too. So get ready for that.
I'm excited. I'm here for it. All of it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your affirmation of the week. I will show up and shine always. No more hiding. I will show up and shine always. No more hiding. Be sure to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Deuces.